The practice of Kyo yesterday was aiming at awakening the subtlety of all the threads of consciousness. The aerial one, the gaseous one that are so temporary and subtle, and the more concrete one that you have built over time. And these streams of consciousness also contribute to forging your identity. The identity is the thing that you are not, but you are convinced to be. And like I said earlier, as much as you can learn intellectually, like for me, I am not François Lépine. I am not Maha Vajra. These are just names so I can refer to myself. My soul name is a question, it's not an answer. It's a quest. You know, I already teach you your soul name is a question, it's a quest. It's a state where you allow revelation. But at some point, you put it in your email, you know, put your characters and games with your soul name, and you make it into an identity, and you start to believe, this is what I am. Well, yes, in terms of experience, it's how humans can refer to those experiences with words. However, it is not your identity. It's a reference to experiences that you are, but it's not who you are. What you are, think about it and breathe and relax, okay? We're going to go not meditative, but contemplative about the next part. I'm going to ask you a simple question. What form did you have as a soul before you were born, or before you were even conceived in the womb? What was the form of your soul before flesh defined you? After you pass from this lifetime, by death or other means, what will be the form of your soul? When there's no more body to define it, what's your form? And if your mind is trying to comprehend a form of a soul, you're on the wrong path. If you let go of that question and contemplate the formless, a revelation will happen. What was your form before your birth? What will be your form after you die or pass from this life? Because it won't be human. So you contemplate the formless with this state of mind. You're not a human. You are a world. You are a reality. You are your own little pocket universe in the stream of the great universe of Brahm. Brahm with an N. So if you bring the pondering to now that you appear to be in a human incarnation, what's the form of your soul? And observe your ego tempted to give it a humanoid shape. You are still formless. Look at the conflict. Some of you are at peace with it and some of you are in a conflict. Can you remain the formless while thinking that you are humanly incarnate right now? And you will see that your ego is unhappy with the formlessness of the soul. Contemplate it. Try your best to feel the formlessness. And to make it compatible, peacefully collaborating with the formful of the human. And somewhere in your between your plexus and your throat there probably is a battle or a friction or something unusual as a feeling. The ego is confused when you take away its identity. The ego is confused when you remind it is formless in nature. And it's simply adapted over time to definitions. The way you build the mystic form Your ego simply built a social form. And for those of you who do not like the role play and the theatricals of the mystic form, you have been theatrical and role playing your entire life. Because you're not your human. It's not the truth. It's something you have. It's a tool that you're using. It is the most important thing to take care of. Because as a soul, you depend on it to evolve. Breathe. Come back here. All right. So the contemplation of the formless is how we introduce the Totti. Everything is inside. Let us contemplate the definitions that we gave ourselves. Danielle, was the mystic form training yesterday recorded on camera?
No, I don't think so.
All right. It's not dramatic, but there are recordings existing on YouTube about the mystic form, so people watching that video should find them so they can understand what we're talking about. The mystic form, I think Suki told you about it yesterday. The mystic form, the reason why we learn the mystic form is not only because it's useful as an occult tool, but it is the most efficient way to realize you can fabricate an identity and adapt to it without forgetting your main personality, your main purpose. If you become a new identity, you won't lose your responsibilities that you have built in life. If you had children, you had children. These are facts, regardless of what you think about yourself. If you have defined yourself as their father or mother, if you have defined yourself as living in the same place or not, these are simple, immediate realities. If you have produced children, they're your children. You can't forget that, even if you produce a new identity. You understand that? It's part of your immediate reality. If you work at a place to gain subsistence, you can't have a new identity that doesn't work there, because then it becomes a multiple personality disorder and you're sick in the head, okay? So the main personality or the main individual that you are is what embraces the immediate reality, the objective facts. And then your identity or various variations of identities is what addresses different situations, okay? So you already have multiple masks in your identity, and your identity is still just a big, thick mask over your individual, your local experience of the truth, okay? So you don't lose your soul or your sense of self. The self is that thing which is the truth and which embraces facts as they are. Your identity is how you present it to the world, and you stop believing, you stop knowing yourself as a self, and you started believing yourself as your identity. And that's the thing that you have to free yourself from, not by destroying it, but by simply not identifying to it as what you are, but as a thing you use. Very useful, okay? It's what allows you to function in society. If you destroy your identity, you could stop responding to your name. And then you can't receive a paycheck, and you can't declare your income taxes, so they can put asphalt on the road with your money. Okay? For all of you who think that you are abused by your income taxes, you kind of forgot that the teachers are paid every day, that the firemen are there to shut the fire, that there's a tremendous amount of that money that is very well used for your system to work, for your water to run when you open the tap. You don't pay income taxes for nothing, by the way, just a parenthesis, as I'm doing for you revolutionary people who don't like the way your government manages your money because it's yours. Well, I mean, you get services from that, okay? And yes, some of it is abuse, and we're trying to get better. That's it. Let's move on. Let's not talk about politics, but, you know, part of your identity is all these opinions you have, all the greed you have to want the services without paying for them, and all the ignorance that you pretend that you don't know about it, and you just want to keep your money and get the services. Reason for which you start to hate your government, when actually it's like a parent taking care of you the best that they can. I know. Your government is not a good one according to your perspective. I know. They all say that, but no one tries to kill you in your sleep every night, okay? No one. All right? So, I mean, we're here, we're happy. We have so much food, we get too fat. That's a problem, okay? I mean, you're far from destruction. Are we good with that? Breathe. Got a lot of Mexicans here very angry at their government, the corruption and everything, and still there's asphalt on the roads, there's water coming through the tap, and there's teachers that are paid, and yeah, I know, corruption. It happens. You still put your head on your pillow every night and you don't think someone's going to come to your house and kill you. Okay, so it's a good country. Alright? Did I offend anyone? If I didn't offend anyone, I didn't try hard enough. I just want you guys to loosen up with the entire infatuation and frustration with your government. Just become a better person, make sure that the world becomes better people, and everyone will be happy, including the governments will manage you correctly, okay? I can't say this in France. It's over. The class is over. It's 2 hours of politics. I cannot address that kind of subject in France. It just ends my seminar. That's it. People just go with severe infatuation with arguing, trying to convince me each of their point of view. It's terrible. Thank you for letting me teach this. Are you guys okay? What's going on in your abdomen? Something tightening? Integrate? Who are you? Are you angry when your government treats you like a number? Why are you angry? You are a number. There's nothing to hide. I mean, your close one called you by a name that is not even you. It's just a series of letters to refer to who you are. The government gives you a number to be able to classify you more efficiently, waste less of your money that you hate giving them. So it's awesome. Why are you complaining of feeling treated like a number in line at the clinic or at the cinema or at the restaurant? Why are you complaining of being treated like a number? You're just a referred thing. When the truth is that you are a complete being, you're not even a biological being, you're a reality of your own, a little pocket universe, your own world that intertwines with everyone else's world. And you are formless and you are immense, way bigger than your body. Your soul is big. It gets bigger as you evolve. Why are you angry when someone treats you like a number while you are treating yourself like a number? You're always referring to yourself per your dead reference. Because your name is not alive. Your name is on paper. It's very useful. You should keep it as it is. You must use it in our society to function. And it is alive. Breathe. So contemplate your ego in its fear of stopping to be the identity and becoming the real thing. Try to find the potential discomforts. Do you feel that you will lose yourself if you realize that you have no name? Are you going to cease to exist when you die? Are you afraid of death? One of the reasons why you are afraid of death or being severely hurt is that you have convinced yourself that you are your identity so much, and you know that your identity ceases to exist when you die, so you are afraid to cease to exist. Which is ridiculous. Because if you would know yourself as a soul, you would know that you simply drop a mask and move on. And part of your fear of death would just disappear. You understand that dynamic. You know deep inside your ego that your identity ceases to exist when you die. And you convince yourself that you are your identity, therefore you're afraid to cease existing. You understand? This is all ignorance. The other reason why you're afraid of death is that you know that the rigidity of your swaloka is going to be torn apart and it will hurt. Every tight bonds you have built because you are convinced that you have control over others are going to be torn from you painfully. That means, if you remember what it means to have a terrible heartbreak, you know the first real heartbreak you got that destroyed you? When you die, you have a heartbreak with your parents, your children, your job, your lover, the car you wanted, your TV you just bought. You live 20, 50, 100 of those super terrible heartbreaks in the same few minutes it starts, and it lasts for days until your identity is destroyed and finally frees the unformed one, the true self. It is a terrible experience to die because you want control. That's why you don't want to die. You're in denial. You don't want to face it. You should try to be alive as long as you can. Oh, I want to resolve this trial. Let's die. It's stupid. Don't do this. Stay alive. Resolve it while you live. Extend your lifespan. More time for therapy, you know? So you got this? The other reason you don't like the idea of dying is that all the hatred you have projected to others goes back to you. Did you get this one? All the hatred you have projected to others in life comes back to you. For analysis, you know, just get the things back into a bag and, you know, make an inventory. Karma, plan the next life. All right. So the effect of death on your ignorance is, the ignorance part of dying is you've conceived yourself to be an identity that ceases to exist, so you are afraid to cease to exist. About greed is everything you hold on to because you believed it was yours. The control that you apply. And when the hatred is all that energy, the potential energy that you left dormant in the world because you could. It is attached by you nonetheless. You're the one who just projected it and let it sit there and rot. Some of it is transcended. By name of it is just laying dormant wherever you put it, in people, and you know, it's karma. And just, you're dead, goes back and you re-experience it. What you put out comes back. Same with love, by the way. Yeah, all the love that you took by force by anyone, it's stripped out of you. It's unpleasant. And all the love that you've put in the world comes back for analysis, for inventory purposes. Actually, at one point when you're so free, the love just stays because it's not yours, and it just flows. But some of it comes back, you know, the help, the benevolence, the charity. It's pretty cool. So, good dear. Because you have conceived yourself to be an identity, you have forgotten the truth. And you have trouble having experiences of the soul, remembering who you are. Past lives' memories are impossible to access. Everything that your soul has retained as the extremely long lifespan being. It's not eternal, the soul, but it's in another time range than human. And the soul doesn't technically die. It is reabsorbed in the whole when you decide to, or at the end of this universe. So, actually in the next contraction. It's not necessarily a final implosion, but anyway, it's a breath. We still call it, one breath of Brahma is one universe. It's estimated in human time as 115 billion years in terms of human years. Yeah. At this moment, through the tools we have. Taking into account now the new distortion of the relativity theory, so they have a more precise calculation. I don't know the real time for this one. Just it's a breath. And I'm young as a soul, so I lack experience in this field. Are you guys good? You're okay? This softly erratic teachings on TOH is kicking in. How's your guts? Inside. The world inside. TOH. So with Kyo, the introspection of your feeling in your mind, in your relationship with the manifested world, now the power and the wisdom go inside. And what is obvious is what you feel and what you think. So therefore your mind is the active process, but it's the inner world. Okay. It is also the swaloka. It's all part, swaloka is not in kuji-in, it's not even related, okay? I just refer to it because it's useful to understand. It's your swaloka. Swaloka means your personal experience of the world. Whatever it means. So it's all the streams of consciousness, everything you've put outside and inside. Okay, that's the swaloka that we learned yesterday and we practiced, okay? Again, don't do it as a siddhi too often. If you want to try it once, you'll just become more aware. But there's, doing the 10 basic siddhis will give you even more experience quicker. It's nice to awaken to do it once to try it out. But it won't give you power except just more rich, conscious links. Useful also to become aware of nagas if you want. Yeah, because these streams of consciousness are nagas. Like, some are wind, some are water, some are streams, some are ethereal, some are chains. Yeah. Parents, eh? We know that. Are you going to finish mourning your late husband at one point? I saw that. Yeah. Because what he is as an identity you have, but what he was as someone there for you, you have not. Oh my God, it happened. I trapped you. Thank you so much for coming here. I could just whoop, this one. Loneliness is terrible, eh? Alright, embrace it. Rishi, I would like to know the name of that degenerative sickness. Okay? And for you to remember it. There's a philosophy when you want to heal. We're still teaching TOH, but erratic many aspects, because this is inner world. So it's actually your toe becomes so big it becomes the size of your soul. How much you can incarnate it. At one point you'll be able to densify your temple, like I do. So the philosophy of when you want to heal something, you just completely don't put any energy into the sickness. Just deny it or forget about it. Just I'm fully healthy, and you focus on positive, and it will bring it up. The thing is, because you're in denial or ignorance of the actual sickness, your consciousness doesn't reach it, so you're not affecting it, and it wins on the long run. I have fibromyalgia, and a New Age thinker would say, Maha, stop thinking you have fibromyalgia, stop saying that, stop declaring it to the world, and everyone looks at you with fibromyalgia, they collaborate to the manifestation. I'm in charge of my fibromyalgia. And it became an oracle of revelation of my level of integrity. But because I accept the current condition, my consciousness goes right into it, and therefore I have power over it. Alright? So denial of your current state of being is not the way to go. If you look at something and you look at cheese and you say it's cheese, you're not manifesting it remains cheese. It already is. Being aware of something is not necessarily manifesting it. Expressing it has a very mild influence of manifestation. It does, but it's super mild compared to when you intentionally manifest something. If I see cheese, I call it cheese. If I have a sickness, I call it fibromyalgia. If I go into an even more manifestation state, I would make sure that I keep it. Well, guess what? I have fibromyalgia, and I am in charge. I'm the master of that reality. And that's it. And that was manifesting power. Breathe. Now, if you have a cancer or degenerative condition, like for me, it doesn't matter saying I have fibro, because I'm in charge and I can keep the symptoms in existence, and it's just a neurological condition. Now, in your case, it's a degenerative condition. You have to know the name, to know how they call it, how the doctors refer to it, so that you can become conscious from the collective consciousness. All those who actually know what's going on, that call it that way. By calling it that way, you too benefit a bit from their consciousness, so you can become even more aware of what really is going on. Okay? Not in a manifestation way. Just don't say it in a manifestation attitude. Say it into an acknowledging and embracing, while the current state of things is that. And I manifest myself to be fully healthy, but while you manifest yourself to be healthy, you're not denying the sickness. You're just temporarily not giving it credit, because you declare the health, but not in denial of the current state of things. Okay? Both sides of the middle way. We're good with that? Good. Because denial doesn't heal you. Alright? Now the reason why some people, some New Age manifestors say, don't ever say you're fat if you want to lose weight, and don't hang out with fat people, I don't want you to see this. It's just because you're uneducated into the art of dramatization. Okay? You dramatize so much. Oh my God, I'm so fat, I hate myself. That's what keeps you fat. It's not because you said it. Just acknowledge the current state of things. But stop dramatizing, because when you dramatize, you are in the manifestation attitude. When you criticize, I'm fat, there's an emotion, there's a denial, and a unable to deny it because the mirror won't lie to me, and that dramatic implications in how grave it is that you have too much fat is what manifests. This is your manifestation attitude, your emotional implications. The current state of things is that amount of fat. and I train a bit, but I keep eating like crazy. This is facts. I eat like crazy because I'm lonely. It's a fact. Good, I acknowledge it. Where's the ice cream now? You should just go. And you know, before you do a diet, learn to burn what you eat. That's wiser. So even if you have fat, your body learns to pump it. And then you realize that the more exercise you do, the more endorphins you have, the more you are satisfied of yourself in life, then you diminish your eating, and it's easy because something's going on inside. But just trying to cut eating is super hard. Don't deny your fat. It's right there. Okay? And if you have too much, it's going to cause you pain before you die. It's like that. No denial. Okay, King. Vajra. Good. Then keep transcending. Oh, you didn't realize you just closed your eyes for like a minute or something and you nodded and everything. And you freaking transcended. No? Didn't look like it from this side of the board. Okay, so maybe you were aware just like that, you know. It's possible. At least you were agreeing with everything I was saying. Okay, you didn't transcend. I'll trust you on that. It's possible that you were just
mildly.
Oh, or in your case, maybe you were transcending and still incarnate.
Yeah, I do that.
Oh yeah, of course. Yes. With practice, that's what happened. I saw you transcend, but not just the human, it's the thing, you know? Okay, are you paying attention? Yes? Okay, thank you. Hi. What's your name again?
Carla.
Okay, I'm gonna forget again. What's your soul name?
I don't have one.
You don't have one?
No, sir.
It's Tripura. Okay, you will explain to her what Tripura means. The three lands, basically. Okay, so it's where God dwells. God is always dwelling in three worlds at the same time. And we say this is where Shiva lives, the Tripura. So the land of Shiva is another way to call it. Okay, that's your soul name.
Thank you.
Tripura. Tripura. Still gonna forget it, by the way. You know, I meet thousands of people, so. Are we good? Toe teaching is cool so far? So why don't you know yourself as a soul? Addiction to identity, greed of what you want, hatred protected. Oh, basically the three poisons. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty much like that. Yeah. I declare myself to be something I am not, in full constitution of self. I want to control everything because I want, and I hate everything I cannot have. Basically, it kind of sums it up, okay? So in toe, sometimes we do the finger bending of toe like this, okay? In the martial arts. I teach it just inside because it's easier for our society. But usually it's still, the index goes at the base of the feelings and your major is still over it. Just like it was over Kyo. The major was over the index holding it. And now, in this case, the major is still over the index holding it, okay? So it's still the same kind of feeling, but you're in the absorbed state of contemplation, okay? That's the martial art way, and it's a bit harder. So just put your fingers inside, okay? It works, okay? The others, mostly martial artists that use it. kick-ass ninjas who had the courage to dwell inside for a long period of time have so much power outside. They are incredible. Like, you would think they have wires and it was planned by the movies, you know. Okay, so in the idea and the philosophy and the dharma of TOH, applied TOH, the same way we did applied Ren, this reality, applied Kyo, this reality, applied TOH is what is real? That's the question. What is real? In terms of the inner feeling of self. So we start the contemplation of TOH with the formless. We contemplate the formlessness of self. And the letting go of the human identity as a definite thing. We don't deny it, we don't break it, we do not destroy our identity. It's a tool. When you're not building a house, you must not destroy the hammer to make sure you stop building a house. This is stupid. You just leave it there. Until then, you use it each time you want, okay? So do not put any aggressivity. All the anger you put, oh, what my ego makes me do, and everything you blame your ego, well, that's bullshit. Your ego is you. You just don't have the humility to say, oh my God, what have I done again? I'm the one who did this. You have to blame someone else so it culpabilize you. How do we say it in English?
Blame.
Yeah, it unblames you if you blame your ego, which is you. I mean, how much projection can you do, you know, in a single instant? So, the formless. The unidentified. Take the notes you need. Make sure you take all the notes you need during this practice. If you want to take notes, you take your book, you write, you go back to the mudra. Okay? We're not doing mudra right now, we're just preparing, and then we'll have a break, and then we'll have the practice. So as much as you are paying attention to the tangible, objective world within, and all the relationships and possession and identity you've built in Kyo, all the swaloka you have built in Kyo, in TOH you're going to contemplate the undefined formless. And sometimes you're going to help yourself by remembering, before I was born and after I die, do I have a form, or what's the form? And that's the wonder of the soul. It doesn't have a form, but it's not deprived of a form. It exists in a paradoxical state. So that's why we call it the undefined formless. Yet it still exists and still you. Yes, I did use the word exist. Let's not argue on it now, please. You exist. Because you're here and you hear me when I say it. So, I mean, there's something there. So we'll just use the word exist because that would mean you're there. Okay? When we use too much complex Zen to say, nothing exists, nothing is real. Excuse me. I mean, think what you want, but you have a feeling of being here right now telling it to me. Okay? Let's just call it for what it is. You're conscious and you exist. And it felt real. Like I like to say to those who argue with the Zen thing, I don't want you to contemplate the formless and go into the lies of everything is illusion and nothing is real. Come on. If you stop paying your bills, you're going to feel that your internet connection is real when they cut you, okay? You can justify any of the New Age bullshit about denying this existence. You're still in it and you experience it purely and frankly, and it's because they want to deny their suffering. They want to stop being in pain. So they say, if this world does not exist, it's not a hellhole anymore, you know? It's a way for them to deal with it. So Okay, but Sakyamuni never said that everything is not real and illusion. It's not the proper understanding. Okay, so everything is real. The illusion is what you have conceived in your mind. For example, an illusion is when you believe you are your identity so much that you don't even know that you're not your identity. You can't even imagine being something else. So stuck you were in there. That's why we're going to contemplate the unidentified formless. And it's not limited to your body, but it is engaged through your body in this reality. Okay? So the formless is not disincarnate. The formless is still here embracing the real. And this is a challenge of TOH. Okay? The formless is not a transcendental thing that you get out of reality. The formless, the unidentified formless practice is that you contemplate the unidentified formless, but you're still here, incarnate in the manifested world, embracing it. This is where the combat happens, and this is why we have to practice TOH. Okay? Applied to this world. How can you be the formless and you are here, you exist? Okay? Challenging, but you can do it. Breathe. Initiate your contemplation. We have only 1 or 2 minutes. Then we'll have a break, a proper break. The unidentified formless. And you can have thoughts in your head. There is no form. I'm not who I think I am. I'm not identity. I'm a state of being. I'm not a person. The formless. The unidentified. And once you get the hang of it, you let go of the phrases. And you just remain in the feeling of the unidentified formless, real and here. So you go into the paradox of having no form, but you are in the world anyway. Taragni will try not to transcend. All right, take a deep breath. Let's have a 10-minute break.